Hey.
Hi. We're here.
Shimming over.
We're here.
It's tank top day.
Yes.
Did you get the memo?
We're matching tank top gals. So it's Wednesday.
Yes, it's a Wednesday.
Without Elizabeth.
Yeah, she's she's a businesswoman, so, and it's not because of her flight problems that she had over the weekend, but she did take a flight, and I believe she got out today, so that's good, because there's the whole
Blackout.
Is
that right? Is that like her flight issue? I don't know about the flight issue.
Yeah, and then once that happened, and when it got back up, then they were backlogged, and so it was a mess.
Oh, gosh.
So I think they just were screw it, let's
start over.
Cancel a bunch of these.
Dang, that's stinky.
Yeah. So I was seeing on Instagram all the people that were having a problem, and one of my clients was talking about her friend that had taken a flight on Thursday, and I think that's when it all, Thursday morning.
Yeah.
And it was right before all that. I was like, boy, they were lucky.
Yeah, they got out. I have a friend there's a Joe Dispenza retreat this week in Denver.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I have a friend, a lot of them are going, and a lot of them it was the exact day, leading up to the conference or whatever, I guess. And my friend Christy, who, if you guys listening and are in Georgia, she owns a gluten-free and dairy-free vegan optional bakery in Roswell called Christy's Kitchen, and it's
my friend Milo was just talking about that place.
No way.
Yeah, she lives right there, walking distance, I think. No, maybe not walking. Yeah,
that's where I love that street right there.
Yeah,
it's just so sweet, and there's so many big trees. But yeah, it's Christy's Kitchen. It's her and her husband Sebastian. They're from Peru, and they came here with their whole family after he lost he had a furniture business, and they came here because it was a really bad economic situation for them when I don't know if he lost his job or something happened where it was bad, and they came here, and through using Dr. Joe's meditation, or basically, if you don't want to be culty about it, it's because that's how it feels sometimes, it's a really it's a big movement or whatever, but it's basically just doing intentional heart-centered meditations. That's it. Using chronic breathing that he calls something else so he doesn't scare people away because they think it's woo-woo. It's very scientific. Oh, yeah. It's scientific meditation basically. And but anyway, they used his meditations, and they got the kitchen, and then they got the restaurant space set up, and they got everything set up, and then they attracted in. It happened to be this huge food critic that lives in Atlanta that got them a boom in business. And now she has a cookbook, and it's just they're thriving.
Wow.
It's awesome. And she's gluten-free because when she moved here, her kids got sick because of the food here. So she was I need to cook real food. And they make these awesome Peruvian desserts and all gluten and dairy free. It's just
yeah.
And they do golden milk lattes, butterfly pea lattes, all the elixir lattes and stuff. It's awesome. I love it. It's delicious and really cute spot. So that was a huge plug for Christy, but the point was...
Oh, I'll put that in the show notes.
We'll put it in the show notes.
And I'll see you there. One listener.
So good. Just have our one person in the corner.
Just let us know when you're going. We'll meet you there.
We'll just sign up that says here for YAOS. But Christy was stranded in the airport with her 2 daughters on the way to the retreat, and she posted this long thing about humanity and the crisis point of seeing people at their lowest and seeing so much hatred and how everyone acts I'm paraphrasing, but to me it's come into clear focus lately that whole beast consciousness is the lowest level of consciousness, when you're your most primal, you're reactive, because you're trying to protect what you have. That's the 666 is the lowest beast level of matter. It's turning lead into gold. Lead is carbon. It's that's why people say beast and 666 to me. It's when you're in your primal animal and you're dangerous. And a lot of us operate in that, and we have a veil of stress to mask it with coffee and shit. And we're don't worry, I'm just functionally stressed out, but really you're in your primal consciousness all the time. So that's why we get stressed. So anyway, she was it's really interesting to see how many people are in their lowest consciousness, and it's really devastating. But she was like, I hope that we can turn this all into love. It was like such a beautiful ending. But yeah, it was super real. Seeing like people were like sleeping on the floor and like fighting and.
Yeah. Well, Elizabeth was talking about that too, with
Really?
talking about using her yoga tools. She's like, I think I used all my yoga tools.
Yeah.
Because she said the same thing. Everybody's like, rah.
Yeah.
Cranky.
Which I guess makes sense because if you think about our country right now or the West in general, because I'm not trying to be polarizing, but I mean, we're in a country we have money and we have air conditioning and we have like things. But I think we've gotten kind of spoiled with all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so when like little conveniences get taken away, we think that our livelihood's being taken away, but it's like we forget that we're still breathing and that this is an inconvenience.
Yes.
I know I wasn't there. I know that I've been in airport situations like that and I've turned into the beast for sure. But I didn't have any tools back then. So, but I mean, it just shows that like we're spoiled and like it's dangerous. I think because we're like, can't believe I can't choose what Netflix show to watch or something on the airplane or whatever, getting mad about that. It's like, once you realize that there are people who are like actually starving or like actually don't have any water.
Or actually can't even go to the airport and take a trip to see their family.
Exactly. Like in our own country, there are people who can't afford, I feel like everything's getting more expensive. So I feel like there's a huge group of people who actually are going to get completely edged out of society at some point. Like
we even hear, I know a lot of the parents of young teachers. Did I talk about? I just had deja vu for a second. But the parents of young teachers that already live here and bought their house from when it was, less expensive way back.
Yeah.
Now their kids that are teaching up here can't even buy a house here.
Yeah. Yeah. No one can afford anything. Yeah. And I was telling someone that too about, for me, the contrast is my mortgage used to be $1,100.
Yes.
And I made $70,000. And now I make nothing pretty much. And that's not true, but I make a lot less than that. And rent is at least $1,800 for one bedroom. So to me, that it's only been 2 years. And I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Can I wrap my head around? But that's also kind of a lack mentality because I do get income from multiple streams unexpectedly because I manifested and I work at different things, but it's really hard to like rely on that. When I used to get a steady paycheck and have a guaranteed set mortgage every month, it's like, it is very jarring in my solar plexus to think of that disparity. It's like, how is that even possible? But I know it's possible. It'll come together. But for people like teachers and who are like, God, they don't get paid anything.
No, and they should be one of the higher paid people.
Oh my gosh, yes, they should. We have I work like 1 day a week at a coffee shop around here, and the owner is very supportive of the community. It's called Community Cup. We sometimes live stream there. But she's very big on community, and she backs it with her actions. She supports the teachers, she supports the local police. And I see those teachers, I worked there for about a year, so I got to see the whole like teacher wave and teachers being excited that it's almost over or like that it's almost starting and anyway, I've gone through and I've met a lot of teachers and I can see most of them are so lovely and they have great energy, but I'll see them at the beginning of the year and versus the end of the year. And it's like, you can just feel that it's like pulling the life out of them, the system that they're having to work in. And the kids, I'm sure the kids are great, but I hear that it's hard to get that. I'm not trying to talk any shit at all. Just what I've heard is that there are kids that are in like 6th and 7th grade who like can't read. And that the attention spans are really, really bad. So I just feel bad. I feel like the teachers really need a break. Like they need to get paid more. But the least we can do is give them a discount on coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't make shit. Like there's one guy, I don't know. I just remember one guy like kind of mentioning it. Like he was so nice and so humble about it, but you could tell he was like, like this is impossible, you know?
And then all the teachers that are like, oh, I really want to do this project with the kids. So then they go out and spend their money on materials.
Oh, yeah. And then they have nothing.
Yeah, they're just, it's dipping into their already.
Yeah, they can't even.
Yeah. Anyways.
Shout out to all the teachers.
We love your teachers.
Yeah. Well, with the airport and Elizabeth, we were going to say, I had a really interesting story to tell about my last week, something that happened.
We're switching to dogs.
I have a finger injury because okay, I'll start at the beginning.
Start at the beginning.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Good story. Okay, I have a friend who I took up to, no, just kidding. I have a friend. That's right. I have a friend who actually, I took a friend up to, she's never been to Blue Ridge, so I took her to Blue Ridge. Yeah, and I used to spend a little bit of time up there a couple years ago. And so I love it, and I knew a few spots to take her. So we walked around downtown, I brought my dog, and it was awesome. And we found a little trail, and we were just going down the trail, and there was no one there because it was a weekday. Well, there was a couple people, but not a lot. So I let my dog Maddox off leash, and he stays close by to me, but he'll run ahead and then turn around and smile and then wait for me and then run a little more, and it's really cute.
He's super chill.
Yeah, he's a super chill dog. So I'll run him around, but if there's people, I'm not irresponsible with it. It's very I leash him, I unleash him, unleash him, leash him, leash him, leash him. And if there's people, I always leash him, but I let him go a little bit ahead of me, and anyway, that doesn't really matter because that's not how the story even happened, but we were having a great time, basically. Maddox was leading the way, keeping us on point. He's a hunting dog. He literally he'll put his nose up your butt to get you to go.
Yeah.
Or he'll stop you, or he'll the coast is clear, but he's not trained, so he's still a house dog. So that's why I'm very okay, we cool? All right, I'll leash him. So we were having a great time. On the way back, I leashed him up. There's a little stream. No, I let him go down the little stream and get water, and then I leashed him up and we headed back. As we were going, I think I dropped the leash and let him smell, and he was smelling. He was right by us, and I was stopped. We were both looking at our phones for some reason. We were showing each other something on our phones, and I heard him growl, and I heard something else growl. It wasn't him. Yeah, it was this really weird
whoa,
high pitched thing, and I looked over, and he was looking at. I thought it was a big squirrel, and I got
really
closer.
Fat squirrel.
Yes, he got his whole nut for the whole year, but genuinely, I was oh, what is that? So I got closer and realized I thought it was a beaver because it was it had little teeth, little tiny teeth like that. Yeah. And I was oh my gosh. And they were just looking at each other. And then I don't remember what happened here. I'm trying to think how because it all happened really fast after that. But something happened. Oh, it was a beaver and they were looking at each other. So I went and grabbed his leash and he started pulling me, and the beaver hopped a little. It wasn't a beaver, it was a hedgehog, I figured out. Or a hedgehog, a groundhog. Yes. Because a beaver has a giant tail and this thing did not have a tail at all. So I was it's an infant beaver? I don't know. But it walked, it kind of scuffled away a little bit, and then Maddox went after it, and they scuffled. And I went and grabbed the leash, and then they were just looking at each other. I heard a scuffle, and I was oh, because I thought he was following me, and he was moving on because he doesn't chase squirrels or anything. But he went after it. There was a scuffle, and I pulled him, and I was what was that? And they were both growling at each other, and I was oh my gosh. So I was holding him, and as soon as I was ready to pull him to go, we were off trail, so I was trying to get back to the trail. He lunged after it, and it ran really fast, and they were sprinting through the woods. So I started running after them, and we got down to the river, and he had the hedgehog in his mouth and was doing that he does to a toy with it.
Oh my god!
I was so horrified, but I was in action and adrenaline, so I yanked him. I grabbed his neck, his scruff, and yanked him off. And the thing was twitching, and I was frozen. I was so horrified, and I looked down, and Maddox's mouth was dripping blood, and I was you murderer! I was disgusted. I was Like I'm still like
protecting you.
that's what everyone has said, but I'm still like effing traumatized by that. Like I can't get that image out of my head. And it was twitching, and my friend came down, like she was like following us. She's like, "What's going on?" No, I think she like came out. I don't know what happened. I blacked out. I was just traumatized, and I was just holding him, like shaking, and he was dripping blood, and I was like so disgusted and so angry at him. You know, like I was just like, "What?" And but the little animal, he stopped twitching, so Max killed him, but there was no blood, so I was confused. I thought he like was drawing blood from this other animal, so I was like completely disgusted and mad. And anyway, the animal died quickly, so I was glad for that. But I couldn't lock at it. Like after Maddox, I pulled him off. I couldn't look, and so I had her looking. She said he was twitching, and I felt so bad. But so we left the area, and I was just shaking. I couldn't figure out how to react. And I was so mad at Maddox, like I was holding him really tight. I was like, "You fucking piece of shit!" Like I was so mad.
How dare you?
Yeah, I was so angry. So, because he's so sweet, like he doesn't hurt things. Like he's never hurt anything at all. Like
there must have been something going on because they can tell.
Yeah,
with it, like if it had rabies, which probably not, but or it was sick.
You think? I mean, I don't know. It was really bizarre. I don't know what it was. I don't know, but then he wouldn't have done anything. I don't know now. That's why I'm like, who are you? I don't even know who you are. And we were walking, and he was dripping blood, and there was so much blood in his mouth. I was like, what the hell did you, I was so confused and disgusted. And then I realized, like 10 minutes into me venting to this poor friend of mine who was probably just because I think she was in silent mode, and then because about like 10 minutes after she started processing it. But I was just like, like I was just like, and but I noticed that I didn't have my phone. So in the whole fiasco, my phone flew out somewhere. I was so lucky. We went back, and I had to go back to right next to the beaver, and my phone was right there, about an inch from the water. So it didn't land in the water, and it was fine. But I had to look at the beaver or the hedgehog or the freaking whatever the creature was. Like I feel like beaver, I don't know it, but I had to like look at it, and I was like, this was me having to process this, and I said, I'm sorry. And I walked away, and then I came back and got closer, and I was like, I'm sorry. No. Like I was just like, I'm so sorry. And then I realized like that I had just witnessed or just experienced my initiation into wildlife, like into the circle, like of horror, of nature being effing horrifying as well as beautiful. It's both. And it's like, shit, like it really put me in my place. And I was, anyway, so when we got back to the car, I feel really bad because I like kind of reacted. Like he wouldn't come, he was dripping blood, and I had a big jug of water, and I needed it to get his blood. I thought it was the blood of the other animal still, so I grabbed him by the scruff. And I don't usually do that unless it's like an emergency, because I know it doesn't hurt them, but it looks violent, and I've been criticized for it, so I'm insecure, so I don't do it.
Oh my God, just pause for a second.
Please.
That's what the mother dog does. It doesn't hurt the dog, but it gets their attention. You can ask any dog trainer. Any dog trainer.
Thank you. I literally was raised that way, and so thanks to my stepmom, she taught me that. And I got freaking criticized by grabbing him when he was a puppy in my office by my, this is being recorded, by my former CEO. And it was a look of, he looked at me like I had just eaten a baby when I did that. And he was so freaking judgmental that it pissed me off. And I was like, Brett, I can't win in this world, dude. I can't please anybody. But anyway, so I grabbed him by the scruff, and I put him between my legs, and I poured the water on his face. And he was like, and Alyssa, my friend, was like I heard her, and she isn't like super sensitive, like she's kind of a realist, you know? Uh-huh. And for her to gasp, I was like, damn it.
Are you gonna yell at me?
I know, I was like instantly felt guilt. I was just like, what? I can't like handle my reactions. Like I literally like couldn't like contain myself. I was just like, oh my God, I suck. Like, I was like, I'm pissed. I suck at being pissed. Like I suck for being pissed, you know? And so I like poured the water to get the blood out of his mouth, and I felt really bad because I was like, fuck you, bro. Like you just traumatized me. And so I got him in the car.
That's really what it is.
It was. I was like, shit. But so I put him in the car, and then I kept checking on him, and he still was bleeding. His tongue had a gash in it, and I was like, the beaver attacked him, baby. And so then I felt better, but now I still don't quite know what happened. Like, because there was a scuffle where I wasn't quite sure what was going on, and yeah, so I don't really know if, but the hedgehog beaver animal thing, the woodland creature, it did have like a very terrifying little stance and was like, like, you know, like when they're right before he chased him and killed him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just feel terrible, and yeah. It's nature.
I know Maddox is like a little boy, but he's also an animal.
That's one of the things I justified walking back. I was like, all right, this makes me feel better. He's just a dog. So all my friends have been telling me that aren't big dog people are just like, they don't understand my love bond with my dog. They think it's weird that I'm so attached to him. I get it. Now I can feel a little bit more balanced. Like, he is a dog. He's not a human. He's a freaking dog. But then I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I just like couldn't.
That's what I was gonna say about grabbing the scruff. Like, usually I'm not assertive enough with my dogs, and so and then I take them to a trainer, you know, for me and the dog to get trained, and they're like, just grab them by the scruff. You have to. They're walking all over you. You have to.
That's what he does.
Like, for the safety of them and you.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh.
It's the safety, right? It's not that you're being mean. I don't know. I grew up also with like my dad had a little bit of a temper, and he still does. So like, I think I might have picked some of that up. And I think there's a line between taking it out and using healthy, fortified firmness with your pet to assert that you're the human. Yeah. But my dad would just like take it out. Like, he would be like rough with them when he was in a bad mood, you know, and nice to them. They walk all over. What a mess, man. And my freaking, everyone was right when I first got him. When I first took him, I moved out of my shared place with my ex, and he was still only like almost a year old. Like, he was still like a puppy kind of. And we had him traded. And I never had dogs sleep with me growing up, I don't think. Yeah, I never did. But yeah, so when we got him as a couple, I was like, we decided to try to keep him off furniture. And I don't know. I like my dog to cuddle with me, like on the couch and stuff or whatever. But when we got him as a puppy, as a couple, we agreed that we would do that. Sure enough, when I left and moved in on my own with him, I had an air mattress in my friend's sunroom the first few weeks. And as soon as I walked in the bedroom after brushing my teeth, after crying because I left my boyfriend and like, now I was a single dog mom or whatever it was, you know, it was dramatic. I was 25. Oh, so I was like, came back into the room, and Maddox was like on my air mattress, like, you ready to come to bed? And I was like,
I'll cuddle with you.
I was like, you know, and so it just broke all of that, and that's all my fault. It doesn't help that he lives in a house where he's completely spoiled and overfed, but yeah, so yeah, you're right. Thank you. Because I need to, this is a good opportunity for me to change my relationship with him and start, well, he's old now, but I can start being more human with him. Like, I'm the human, you're the dog. Because during COVID, he was like, he's a manipulator. Like, yeah, he's smart. Like, and he judges me. I'm just kidding. But I could feel him judging me, you know? Like, he just sat and watched me for 2 years working remotely. And like in that little studio, and I know that his psyche was like getting into some patterns, and he was like manipulating me a little bit. But because he has this like human face, and it's like I can feel him judging me for like not walking him a certain time or whatever, you know. And so yeah, like this whole week I've been treating him a little bit differently because I've been shaken up by the whole thing, and I've just been kind of looking at him like, wow, you're a little psychopath dog. But then I'll like kiss him on the head, you know, it's like, we're still,
like, I love you.
Yeah, I love you, but we're setting boundaries. I don't know. Setting boundaries with my dog.
I have a dog story as well, which I did post on Instagram. But, so my 1-year-old dog.
Oh, there's Charlie.
Not the one that's trying to get in the room. She is obsessed with my husband's socks.
Oh.
So she's eaten now 5 of his socks. Why are they still lying around? I don't know.
Pairs or
no
singles?
judging. Singles.
Oh,
I usually find the one and I'm like, oh shit, she got another one. So I just caught her because I assumed that, the previous time, and I'm like, hey, she got your sock again, just maybe put it away or something. And so he shoved these particular ones this time, he shoved into the toes of his shoe, thinking
she can't
get those, and then put some on the kitchen table, but she can get on the kitchen table, not that she's supposed to, but she's like, oh, and so I'm in brushing my teeth, weirdly enough, you were just talking about that, and I have a second toothbrush in the guest bathroom because I have to keep an eye on her all the time because she's sneaky all the time. So, and she was laying on the couch because my dogs are on the furniture, and so I go and I brush my teeth and I look out and she's not there, and I look around, so she had tiptoed over, got up, got both socks and ran over to snuck over to the dog bed, and I came out and she was eating one sock, and I'm like, oh, give me that, and I pull it all the way out of her throat like a magician.
She was really
just kidding. It was an ankle sock. Oh. The second one, she was trying to. She does this weird. It's weird. It's like the hot dog eating contest. She her eyes roll back like a shark or whatever, and she I don't know. It's weird. It's almost. I don't know. It's gross. Anyway, so
wait, what does a shark do?
I don't know. Their eyes, like a doll's eyes. Did you ever see Jaws?
I mean,
and they look at you with those eyes.
Yeah.
They're like a doll's eyes. They look like that. And I don't know. They're dilated. She's stimulated. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if she's
she's in her own personal heaven. Yeah, she's doing something.
Something
in the dog realm that's dirty.
So I'm like, holy shit! And I have all the doors closed, everything put away, because I like her to be able to kind of be on her own and feel like she has some freedom. But I did not think that my husband had socks in his shoes that were on the table. I always just think he still has his socks on, but apparently no. So I went to go look for the other sock. It's not there. I go over to the bed. I look in the bed. It's not there. There's no other door open. I go outside. There's no other sock. I go in the garage. No sock, no sock, no sock. And then my husband comes in and we have this whole talk. Did you have your socks in the shoes? And lo and behold, yes, he was sure both of his socks were in the shoes. And that little biatch got both of them and brought them over, and so she swallowed the sock, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it usually takes her a couple days to get it back up, and we're about to leave, and he's like, she's gonna just keep throwing, because she'll eat it again. So this happened one time when she was younger. She would throw up. I didn't know what was wrong with her. She'd throw up and then eat it. Well, what I didn't realize was it was a sock coming up, and she would re-eat it every time.
Ew.
And every time I went to go clean it up, and she would get it all cleaned up so fast because it was an actual solid, one piece that she would get. Anyway, so we give her the peroxide. The vet said 2 to 3 tablespoons of peroxide. So we squirt that in and bring her into the garage, and we walk her around, and lo and behold, bloop, here comes the sock. So
sorry.
I don't know what to do about
crazy.
That.
So I guess all you can do is put the socks away. That's what you said.
See. But yes, so
maybe you have to go around with a sock vacuum.
Oh, she knows I'm talking.
She heard us.
She knows I called her a biatch.
Oh wow.
Anyway, so the thing is just to, dot your I's and cross your T's, right? Every single time.
Dot your I's and put your socks away.
And put your socks away. I'm like, put them in the silverware drawer. I don't care. Just put them in some kind of closing something.
So is it dangerous for her? Is it just you have to always peroxide her?
Well, I don't know, because they can aspirate too. So it's like a whole, like, I get really nervous, but it easily came up. I think because it's an ankle sock. So it's like, kind of
compact.
Like, to get it in down the throat, it has to be all squeezed up and, balled up. So it just bloop comes out. But I wonder, obviously would rather have her not in a sock. Cool. But I don't know how to train that.
You don't. I'm wondering if there's because this seems kind of random and new, right? Like, this is like a new thing?
Oh no. This started it's like
forever?
5. That was her 5th one that she's
fifth total, not like 5th in the last week. I thought this was okay. Well, is there a smell or something she's attracted to?
His feet.
She wants to eat his feet. You should give him the real thing.
The dirty socks.
Give her the real thing.
Let him lick his feet. Maybe. Hey, let her lick your feet. Maybe
I wonder. Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah.
That's like one of those people who eats random things. You know, like cotton balls and stuff.
Like couch foam. Yeah.
Yeah, like she's the dog version of that.
My strange addiction.
Yeah.
Likes the socks.
It's like, I eat socks all the way. That's so crazy.
I know, and it's like she chews her stuffed animals. She'll maybe eat a tiny piece of it, but mostly like those she throws around. She shreds up. She has a blanket that she's like takes chunks out of, and I find pieces of those all over, and that's like fuzzy and soft, and I would want to eat that. If I was going to eat anything, it would be a nice fuzzy piece of
something
that
soft.
Sounds weird, but yeah, like it's cuddly.
Yeah. It seems like a sock and a fabric toy though would be something like the same thing. So it is weird that she's going after socks.
Yeah. So it's got to be like this, and it's been a used sock, like a just worn sock. So I think that's what it is. I think it's the smell or whatever. So just gotta figure out how to. Yeah, maybe I'll have.
You could get like little.
Put
a little thing that has like a clothesline, a little
up high.
I'm here.
Up there. Just have them all over.
Yeah.
I have these clips.
It's like you live in the shoe, like the old lady that lives in the shoe, the cobbler. Hang your socks up.
Or maybe I need like a black box, everywhere.
Yeah.
Tins.
Lock your safe socks in there. Yes. That just made me remember, though, that...
Sock safe. It's a thing.
That's an invention.
Yeah.
You could spin that off your dog business, your old dog business, like the LLC. You could just turn it into the sock lock box or whatever.
Sock lock.
Really? Because you could technically, there are businesses all over the place, making little cheap plastic boxes and putting a name on it and calling it something really cool. They were like, oh, I need that box. Well, that reminded me that Maddox, he's been gifted a bunch of toys that look like little woodland creatures lately. What about that? Yeah.
That's interesting.
I did get judged harshly for not taking him to the vet after that, too. Because I called 3 vets to check, and they all were like, nah, it's fine. But there was one vet trying to sell me a booster rabies, and he just got his updated rabies. But that's, it's protocol. They suggest that. They're like, if he doesn't have any signs of lethargy or foaming at the mouth or whatever, I guess, or pain, and he's rabies vaccinated, you could come get a booster. And that's about all you can do. But I was like, okay, bye.
So that's fine.
He's fine.
That's what, and the same with me. They're I called my vet to see if I could take her in and have them do it just because I was like, I just want her to be observed. I was asking Rich because he actually worked on an ambulance, so he knows a lot of medical stuff, and I'm like, are you gonna be, if she can't get it out, are you gonna be able to get in there? And he said, yeah, I'll get in there. I'm like, how far can you go? And he's like, as far as I need to. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. He's like, I'll get it. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
And I'm like, okay, let's do it.
With his hands?
Well, he didn't have to. It came flying out, so it was fine.
implying.
I think so. Yeah, I think it would go swoop in. I don't know how that works, but
I don't either. But I bet you it'd be really interesting to watch.
yeah.
But
Take some needle nose pliers.
yeah, just like get in there. That's how I feel. Like I'm gonna do it myself. I mean, I don't have any training, but that's how I'm feeling. Like this has nothing to do with that, but with the gun class I just took today, it's like all the little things that you learn are so valuable. I don't know. Like I don't know what I was trying to say, but I love learning new things. I know how to shoot guns, but I've never been through an official like training course or whatever. And it was just like fascinating. Like there's technique to everything. Same with guitar. I'm learning guitar right now. Anyway, I was saying that because it made me think of Rich's experience with the aim. That's a cool past to have because you never forget that shit.
No.
I'll never forget how to shoot
stories. Oh my god.
I bet they're crazy.
Crazy stories.
That's cool.
We'll have him on.
Yeah.
Talk about his old jobs.
We should. That'll be fun. I love that. I think it's cool. The more that I'm like getting out of I've been out, but out of the corporate world and that like one track mind kind of thing. It's like you go here and you go here and then you die. Now I'm like all over the place. I love it. It's very nerve wracking, but it's also really cool to learn a bunch of little new skills like that. Like,
did you ever? I don't know why this reminded me of this, but that show. I don't even remember what it was called. It was Paris Hilton.
Yeah, Simple Life.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched it. That was my demographic. They're the reason that I had body image issues. But it's okay. I loved it. It was so funny. It was a good show. I know.
It was so funny.
No, just looking back, I'm like kind of.
But they did. Didn't they do that?
Yeah.
And the other one is Dirty Jobs. Dirty Jobs.
Oh yeah.
I love all that and like and how it's made. Like he goes and does all that.
Oh, that's cool. I want to know how glitter's made. They still won't tell us. Isn't it this big conspiracy that no one knows?
I don't know.
Let's look it up.
We should message Mike Rowe and tell him to go.
Who's that?
That's the guy that does Dirty Jobs.
Oh, okay. I thought you knew him. I was like,
oh yeah, we're besties.
Yeah.
And
Mike.
He listens. He's our one listener.
He's our one listener. Will you let us know how glitter is made? Because I want to know. I feel like it's this big thing where it's like a mystery. Like only 2 companies like are the source of it, and they like don't reveal their secrets or something. Or maybe it's just one of those internet conspiracy theories. I haven't looked at it in a while, but
now I gotta go look.
I'm so glad though that it exists because I didn't realize it was. I just realized that as well. I did not realize how much I loved glitter until I went to yoga the other day and for Laura's class, and I put a little holographic glitter right here for my shift at I haven't been working really at the coffee shop like at all, but I wanted to work, so I covered someone's shift, and I just felt fun. And I found these little butterfly clips. I know, I love it. Her eyelashes are great. You probably can't see from that far, but they're beautiful. Oh, look, you can totally see them.
You can see them from way back here.
I know, they're so amazing. Well, I found these butterfly clips that are my niece's, and I in the late 90s was the butterfly clip thing, you know? And I did the rose. That's what I used to do when I was little with like Mary Kate.
Oh.
So I did the 3 butterfly clips, and I put my holographic glitter right here. It's from my festival days, from my EDM festival days. I threw everything I owned away, but I kept that freaking holographic glitter because you used to only be able to buy it online. Like now, like all these cute makeup brands make it on purpose, but it wasn't a thing 4 or 5 years ago. 6 years, Jesus. But yeah, so anyway, I'm proud of it. Anyway, I went and I did that, and it made me have a way better day because we talked before the podcast about the rage I've been experiencing lately. That was at an all-time. So I was like,
I need to be happy.
Yes. I was like, I need to be fun and feel like my 10-year-old self again.
Butterfly.
Yeah, I need some freaking butterflies in my life. So I was so effing angry. But anyway, as soon as I realized this too about that whole thing, I realized as soon as I got to the coffee shop and had to take care of other people, they say this in spirituality, like as soon as you help other people, you forget about your shit. Like if you're in a bad place. And I literally, all my anger just melted away because I was like making someone happy because I made them
coffee makes people
and
happy.
Also the sprinkles and stuff that she does. Like Community Cup does all the fun sprinkles. Glitter. Yeah. That's the famous trademark of Jalen. Like I did one in the spring, we did a spring butterfly latte, which is like vanilla and lavender or something, and I put like fresh lavender on the top of the whipped cream, and then sprinkles, and then purple glitter, and it was like, I know, it's just so cute and annoyingly adorable. I can't not. So I was like, glitter today, and I went to Laura's. I walked into the studio, and she was like, and I was like, what? And she's like, oh, glitter. And I was like, oh yeah, and I didn't realize how I felt, but I was like, I said this, and I feel bad though now, but I was like, it's mainly because I had an asshole of a stepmom who banned glitter for me growing up. And so now I'm like doing the glitter to make up for it. But I don't feel good about saying that because she probably thought it was really messy. I don't know. It did sort of steal my joy, but there was 4 kids, so.
What is happening out there? Sorry, don't mind me. Is it raining?
I don't know, but
There's a lava.
A what?
Noise.
I thought you said lava. I was like,
there's lava.
A meteor
tornado. Just kidding.
But yeah, the glitter really helped me, like, just feel like good, my child self, and I kind of want to wear it more, and I probably will. On Friday, I'm leaving to go to Texas. My friend is from Brussels, or she's from Poland, but she lives in Brussels, and she's a classical musician. And we met on our yoga retreat, my Ashtanga training, and we instantly bonded because she was really, really shy, and I was like, hi, like, she was shy, and we just stuck together, and we have some similar like trauma in our past, and so we bonded over that, not trauma bonded, but we like bonded over healing, and yeah, she's just it was such a beautiful, like one of those beautiful connections where it's just like, dang, I'm so lucky. Like, I'm so lucky to have gotten into that situation, you know? She was one of the best outcomes of my whole trip in Mexico, my whole year in Mexico. Because it's such a genuine thing. And I did ayahuasca and she didn't, so a lot of our bonding happened after I was on psychedelics. But not really our bond happened, but like a lot of the wisdom that came through that medicine, like, did something to her. I could see it while I was doing it. I was like transmitting something. We were in like a deep spiritual like moment of like seeing each other and seeing that we were each other in a lot of ways. And I'll never forget like staring into her eyes, like, and her believing me, because we went through something really tough. It's both of us separately. Yeah. Like not too long ago. So it was like just really beautiful. And all of our friends were like, yeah, you guys, like the later at dinner that night, they were like, you guys were sitting there staring at each other in that deep conversation for like 3 hours. Like we had no idea how long. It was really, really cool. It was right next to a cenote. We were like at a cenote. So it was like this very spiritual thing. So it was cool. I mean, I don't think she's a big believer in all of that, but she's like a realist, but it happened. It was beautiful. And she was like, I'm not really sure what happened, but something happened. And anyway, and she like, I gave her a crystal. She gave me this necklace. And I realized that a few weeks ago when I started feeling a lot better all of a sudden, it was... You had that? I had put this on. And you took that other one off. And I took my Moldavite off. And I put this on. Because this and this were part of the glitter. It's the same thing. I was like, I want to be little. Like when I started making my sun catchers, I was like, I want to wear all the shit like that I loved when I was like 8, like that made me just so happy. Yeah. And so that happened. And then she messaged me and was like, will you come to Texas? I'm pretty sure it was after I put this on. Oh, cool. Yeah. Weird, right? So, and she sent me like, when we left, we've kept in touch and we kind of faded. I mean, it stretches the further you go, but like, it's always still consistent. And, yeah, she would share with me, like, because when I was there, I was like this, but more like almost ecstatic. Like, I was like almost too happy. And that's how that's why I understand the bow and arrow better and the boomerang thing with depression. It's like, you kind of can like go through cycles before you level out, like, to like you. Yeah. And I was like free of, we were vegan, we were raw, I was hydrated, I was doing 3, 4, 5 hours of Ashtanga yoga dripping sweat every day for a month. So I was pretty freaking connected to the source. Like there wasn't any chemical in my body. I was like straight up pure. So I was very happy and I was very, very much like my childhood self. And I was a little bit manic about about it. And then that's when I started realizing that I was in a little fairy tale bubble and that I was going to run out of money, is when the depression came back. See what I mean? Yeah. So I wasn't quite my full grounded self. I was very much like, woo, in a fantasy, like spiritual, like,
yeah,
I hadn't solved anything.
I know that. I know that feeling.
The avoidance, like I was in spiritual bypass.
But you were, but
also
when
growing.
you go do that type of stuff, it's magic.
It is, and it's real, and you can also have that in your real life. But it's the integration period that's the work. That's what we're all doing.
Yeah.
Right. Integrating, and my integration was really violent. Just like my first awakening was extremely violent, and my therapist used that word violent. She's like, you have some really violent like wake up things, and just like how it turned into psychosis, and then like all this drama with my family, and then running away to Mexico, and like da da da. Like it's been very, very traumatic. But again, it's been very good and very bad and very perfect, because it's finding its little rhythm, you know. And it's like, she saw me at my height of the mania and excitement, and not mania because I'm not manic or anything, or I'm not like diagnosed any of that. I don't want to use that word, but it was just, I was very spiritually like freaking jazzed about being alive, which is nothing wrong with that. But again, I hadn't solved like my financial issues, my family issues, like my trauma. I hadn't faced it at all. So I'm so glad it happened that way, because I got to experience the magic, and then I had to go back to hell to do the work. So she got to see that I wasn't that person, that I was a real person who's struggling with the same thing that she's struggling with, because she was so not taking any shortcuts. Like she didn't do any of the medicines. She didn't want to be anywhere near anything that was like gonna mess with her mind.
And was she doing this while she was there? Like, had she already done the dip, or?
Oh no, she didn't suffer that way. She had it's eating disorder.
Okay.
So I have.
But
like,
I mean, did she go back to that after she left, or did she? No, I think she was on a steady progression, and I think so. This is what I think of us. Like, we're so similar, but hers is this for healing, and my journey is like, you know, and she's like watching me, like, but she's still very steady. So because she had a thing where like she was not cognizant of what she was doing. Like, you know, yeah,
I think she was, but not. Like, it was, this is what happens with a lot of eating disorders, is that you become so ingrained in it, and the disease itself becomes like your consciousness that you can't even see. It's like body dysmorphia.
Our minds
become, it's bad, right? So I think she told me that, I won't go into any more details. I realize I'm like talking about her, but she had a thing where somebody that she doesn't know, not her family, someone who's not her family or her friend, touched her in a way. It was a doctor, like, that not touched her, but like touched her in a way.
I had that with a doctor too. My boobs.
Some weird OBGYN story. But no, she had a doctor that was like so heartfelt, that told her in such a loving, gentle, motherly way that she needed to change something, that started her whole journey.
Oh, cool.
So, and she took it seriously. And she doesn't have support in that regard from her family, just a lot like me. Like, there's a lot of this like silent killer stuff in the family with the women, and a lot of bad acting and a lot of bad examples, and then a lot of criticism that isn't necessarily intentional to lead to an eating disorder, but it inevitably does, because of the lack of self-awareness on the mom's part. Anyway, wow, I guess I feel strongly about that. But anyway, it's just, bad role models and bad words can create chaos, especially with those of us girls that she's pretty much my age, maybe a year younger. And I know that we all have the same exact thing, but we all have different, from media and shit, I mean. Like, we all have the same, like, body dysmorphia messages coming from the media on purpose, but the one that we grew up in, we shared. So we were both, like, so understanding of where it comes from, and, like, I told you as a joke, kind of, but, like, Paris and Nicole, that thing, like, Nicole went anorexic after that show because of how she looked in the show, and, like, we had magazines, you know, we didn't have the internet. Right. So I would read it in the magazines, like, of, like, what Nicole, like, it was so freaking toxic to us. And I could actually cry about it, but I know that I'm not a special generation, but I won't. But I'm not a special generation because I know that it's come in all forms in every generation in different ways. It's insidious. Like, it's a thing. It's like this thing that's like this thing that tells you that you need to be something else, right? And it's so addicting because it's aesthetically whatever. Heroin chic is always the thing, right? No matter what body movement goes on, the heroin chic thing did enough damage, I think, to the psyche. Where you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To me, it started with, I'm going into it. Audrey Hepburn. I saw an interview with her. I was obsessed with like how thin she was, and I think a lot of women were. And I saw an old interview with Barbara Walters about you are so. I wish I could do her accent. Barbara Walters, not Audrey Hepburn's, but she's like, you're so thin, you know. And Audrey Hepburn was so gracious because she suffered during the war, but the way she was like, no, there's no but, because I'm not trying to blame Audrey Hepburn, but the fact that other women reacted to her body as it being like the pinnacle of perfection. And Audrey herself thought nothing of it. She literally like didn't eat much because of the war. Like people were trying to kill her family or whatever. I don't remember. I'm butchering that shit. But I remember in this interview, she was like, we just didn't have food. We were starving. And so she grew up. And the fact that was glamorized and it made people like all of us have like fucking, it's sad to me. And it's such a shitty and messy subject, but I just think that the smaller is better message is really dangerous. But I also don't think glorifying unhealthy patterns is good either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? It's
yes.
Like, I think that being healthy and being the weight and level of happiness and activity should be organic to the child. Like a child is perfect when they're born, I think. And I think all people grow into their body shapes and they're all different. But I think that like the way that it's set up right now, it sets us up to get sick from, up here. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It does.
It sucks.
I think it's been around for a while too. You know, I remember my mom, going through her stuff when I noticed it a little bit she was very self-conscious about her teeth. She had like a crooked tooth up top and she would always talk about my teeth are crooked, but I didn't, she was my mom. I didn't notice
Yeah.
And then again, when my brother, I was 12, so right at that like
critical point.
Yeah. And she had gained weight and she had high blood pressure. She was having my brother at 40, I think.
Dang.
So she had gained weight, and then when she had him, and then she couldn't lose weight, and she was happy, and then she went on not Weight Watchers, Atkins. No, there were like pre-made meals. I used to love it. I'd be like, Mom, can I have one of those hamburgers? It's like freeze-dried.
Yeah, I love the diet food.
She's
can
like,
I drink this liquid?
Sure.
Yeah.
But what the hell? Oh my God. But she did great on it, but she was like, oh no, I'm gaining weight again. And even now, and my grandmother too. Mm-hmm. My grandmother kept she was, I don't want to say heavy, because I never thought of her as being heavy. But then when she got older and she got really thin, she kept all of her
skin.
No. Probably. I don't know. But her clothes. She wouldn't get smaller clothes.
Oh, bless her.
She's like, I just don't want to, because then if I gain weight, and my mom would be like, I get it.
I do that too. Exercises around.
Yes.
Because we all fluctuate, bro. It's natural. We're women. We're cyclical beings.
You get those, and I love that too. It's like.
I don't love it. I'm trying to.
It took me a while.
Okay.
But, it's not fun when you're like, ah, damn it. I planned on wearing these jeans and now I can't.
Yeah. But I'm sure the acceptance is very freeing.
Yeah, but then it gets a little too comfortable and then I'm like, all right.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
Okay, I've had a lot of fun. And it really is, it's about indulging and overindulging on things that aren't healthy for you, which your body reacts. Scientifically, if we could all just think of it like that,
then it's not that painful or emotional.
Yeah.
It's science, right? Yeah. That's how I'm trying to treat it. Like, I'm trying to be more kind to my soul, but like more mechanical with my body.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Like, this is just, it's our vessel, as they say.
But also giving it like appreciation, but not like obsession.
It's carrying us around.
Yeah, we need to respect it, but it's also kind of like meat suit-ish.
Yes.
But it also has like this incredible intelligence that we don't even understand. So it's like this delicate balance of like, I don't know, you don't want to treat it as a meat suit.
No.
Because then you're just like, it's like your car. If your car is a beater, you're not going to be like, oh, don't want to scratch. But if it's new and you're keeping it in pristine condition, you're going to pay attention to every little thing, right? So it's like this weird balance between the two, right?
Yeah. And it's connected to our souls. We're like in there.
Animating it. Like,
what was that show? The Host. Did you ever read that book?
Oh, I think I saw
There's a movie.
Yeah.
The Host. And it's an alien. But I'm like, oh my God, but that's us.
It's like our consciousness is the alien, right? And we're the vehicle.
Yeah.
I think we're like a spaceship, kind of like going through, this is like space time, but it's like dense reality. But we're in these vessels that we designed. This is not real. This is like a joke, but it's like a metaphor. But it's like, it feels like we like picked all of this and we're like, okay, that's the body vehicle. My consciousness is going to go there and I'm going to put these bad guys in my way so that I can remember that I'm unconditional love. And it's like, we forget that we picked that's why when I'm like in the scenario that I'm in, it's like, yeah, I'm pretty upset, but what if this is supposed to teach me not to react the way that I want to, you know? And it's like my spaceship is gotten damaged and I've been fixing it.
Yeah.
You know? And like, pure unconditional love is like the best gasoline for it because it like makes you feel your best and you're not like thinking about, I'm talking about myself, not thinking about like restitution or revenge or justice or making things right or being right. It's just,
or even understanding. Like, you don't have to understand everything.
Oh yeah, thank you for that. Wow. Write that on a t-shirt for me. Because it's like, it's like,
I'll write it backwards so when you're in the mirror,
you can read it. Yeah, it's like, we don't have to understand. And when I'm like the most trusting of whatever's in my path and when I'm happy with myself, that's when my vehicle starts to like operate the best. That's when I feel better, when I have more energy, my skin glows, like everything like feels more alert, you know, my energy. So that's it. And when I get mad and stuff, it's like my spaceship gets weighed down by angry rocks. Yeah. Space rocks.
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh.
Space rocks.
Yeah.
Who likes space rocks anyways?
I mean, they probably taste like cotton candy ice cream. Dippin' Dots.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
And that's when I have to wear my bigger.
Yeah. If we go to space, I'll bring my big sweatpants and my big jeans. Well, these are my.
I'm gonna bring my my yoga overall things.
Oh yeah, I love those. Which I did try the ones he gave me, and they're perfect. I just don't know where to wear them. Maybe I'll wear them in the car to Texas. You have like the big
overalls.
They're like the wide leg, like the Jankos. I love them.
They remind me. You're talking about the overalls?
Yeah.
Yeah, they remind me of what the rodeo clowns wear.
Because they're short.
And I'm like, and this
I can't unsee that.
Yes, there's a girl that has the model that has, again, with the whole.
Yeah.
So there's the model. I should have made a fucking meme. Because there she is, and she looks all cute, and it just falls so nicely on her. And then I put it on, and I feel like a rodeo clown. But it was fun. But they're cute. Like you wear a tank top like this that's fitted, and then it's loose on the outside.
So comfy. I wear around the house like when I'm like making stuff or like playing guitar, and I feel like it's so cool.
Rich, I had him on one time. I was cutting hair, and I was feeling all creative, you know. And he's like,
"Oh, he's stealing your creativity."
No, he's like, "What are those?"
Did you knock your energy down?
They didn't turn him on. Let's just say he was like,
oh.
So I was like, all right, I'll wear them when you're traveling.
That's where I feel. I'm like, I don't want anyone, because I'm short. I got short legs. So.
I was wondering, you maybe try it, putting like a belt.
I did do that. That was really
crunchy.
Cute. Yeah.
And, I mean, not crunchy, scrunchy.
Scrunched, yeah.
I was like, oh, that would be cute.
We can try it all out. We can pass them around. We should pass them around.
Like the traveling pants.
Traveling, cute, Gen Z overalls. Yeah. I keep forgetting that I'm not the youngest generation anymore. It's really hard.
What is it now? I was just watching.
Alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell is happening? I think that honestly, it's easy to be like, kids have bad attention spans now. Well, I realize they started saying that like 20 years ago when the internet came out about us too. And it's like, yeah, so what's new? Like I think that the kids coming in are actually like a lot more emotionally already ready to deal with shit. Like,
well, and
you know what I mean? Like, I think they understand how the freaking universe works and they're starting to be like, something's wrong here. So I think it's causing a lot of issues, but I think that there are some good ones, like, that are going to be making some big, cool changes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel weird about it.
They can multitask
all
the internet shit.
Well, yeah, that's like the 3D stuff.
We need to get some of those guys to help us.
Yeah.
All our podcasting.
Yeah, even our expert, he's too old. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, PK. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, they are.
Still come on.
Yeah, it used to be me that was like whizzing around on an iPhone when they came out, showing people how to. And now I'm like, just take it, kid. I don't fucking know. Like, I literally like, don't know how to do anything anymore. I just checked out. I don't care anymore. But I think, I just think that there's a lot of like, they're like emotionally more, they're like on some other level of kind of like cats. Where it's like, I feel like they just have like this sense of kind of like what I have, this weird thing where I would like weird out grown-ups when I was little because I would know stuff and they'd be like I was just very perceptive and like aware, I don't know, of like adults' behavior. I would like call it out in this weird way. I wouldn't know what I was doing and I would get in trouble all the time. But especially by my stepmom. She didn't like that I could see her. But I feel like more kids are like that.
Yeah.
More than I was. But I'm like, they're like calling me out. Like my niece like calls me out and calls her mom out on shit where we're like, how would you even like compute to like insult us like that? It's like not nice.
Yeah. That the guy, oh my gosh,
Jeez.
Dad, what's his name? His handle? Dad Bod Veteran.
Oh god.
On Instagram.
Okay.
And he was talking about what is it, Gen Alpha?
Yeah.
He was talking about them and he's like, and it was redhead. There was like a video.
The redheads.
Yeah.
I have
Redhead
a thing with
and Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
He's like, that is a bad combo. And he's talking about so funny.
It's true. They have like some extra sense or something, especially if it's a redhead. I have a thing with her.
Oh.
Yeah, the whole family.
Now or the previous one?
Both.
Get that.
Yeah, but hers is fake. The new one's fake.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly. I'm just kidding. I love gingers, but I'm traumatized by them. No big deal.
They're sassy.
I haven't really met any that aren't that way. I think it's a thing. It's just a thing. It's a group thing. And I think it's cool because I think that they have some extra juice.
Yeah.
That we don't have. And
you just have to make sure you don't piss them off.
Yeah. Daywalker. That's what they call him on South Park.
No.
Like Ed Sheeran, I think he knows he's a daywalker or whatever. He's like those things. Anyway, I love all my redhead friends.
I'm jealous.
I'm jealous too. I think there's like a power.
A little bit more of that.
There's something spicy that's like.
Could you give that to me?
I think it's like the Viking thing, Like they lived very well in those days. I think they were survivors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know at all what I'm talking about, so I'm just going with it. But I do feel like there's a Viking thing.
What are we're going to call this episode?
I don't know. Call it Don't Listen.
What?
I'm just kidding.
No, I think
don't.
This is going to be
Okay.
so... Maybe we just call it random.
Yeah.
And other shit.
Yeah.
Random other shit and other shit.
Super random. Or if we wanted to go viral, we could be like, talk shit about redheads or something.
Yeah.
It's just blatant, like, clickbait.
Clickbait.
Because everyone knows that we're not talking shit about redheads. We're just talking about
wanting to be more like them.
Yeah, I want to be more. There was a girl in high school who was such a cool chick, and I wouldn't say I was jealous of her because I was friends with her towards the end, but when I first saw her, I was intimidated by her beauty and power and body. She's a great body. I don't want to say her name. I know. No, she's a cool chick, and her sister as well, and they were both very redheaded. I don't know what that means, but just.
Their hair was red.
Their hair was like really beautiful red,
Yeah.
like red, you know.
We had when I worked, I always say this, it's like my band camp. One time when I was at the salon in Virginia that I worked at, there was a redhead that worked there, and she had thick, long, beautiful red, and she was just gorgeous and sweet, which was weird. Like, 24/7, like, and people would be mean to her, and she wasn't mean back.
Yeah, she's an angel.
Girl, you're supposed to get in there.
Celtic
With
goddess
your hair
over here, yeah.
So,
be spicy.
But then she had a shade of red that you just couldn't get. It was so pretty.
Yeah.
And everyone was trying to highlight her hair. I'm like, stop!
Don't touch that.
Yeah. Don't you dare.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm bored. I want to do something, but I don't want to do highlights. I'm like, don't do it.
Don't highlight your red hair.
I'm like, put more like darker red in or cooler red.
Ooh, yeah.
Just some other red to make your red look amazing.
Yeah, highlight yourself.
Don't dull it down.
Yeah.
So that was mine. So I got her to not color her hair for a while.
Good for
I don't
you.
know if she ever did. Anyways.
Last thing I'll say about redheads.
Okay.
Powerful redhead woman. Florence Welch of Florence and the Machine. You know that band?
I know the band, but I didn't realize.
Powerful music. It's
She's
women, to me, that is like women's empowerment. But not in the like burn your bra away because that's just tired. But it's in that like, I'm going to stand in my power and be what I am because I am.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that.
Beautiful. I saw her front row in 2012 at Music Midtown, and she looked at me while she was singing. I can't remember which one, but she didn't point at me or say my name. She probably didn't look at me, but
you locked eyes for a second.
Yeah, and we stood at the front of stage there's balloons. We stood at the front. Did you see it?
No.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I really don't know how this freaking thing works, but we stood at the front forever, and my friend wanted to see Pearl Jam. She's a huge fan, and so we stood at the front all day. And Florence came on before Pearl Jam, so we got to be front for that. And I was just like dying. But then when I saw her for the fourth time, maybe, it was with my ex, and we got in a big fight during her set. And I was so upset that he didn't understand how important that music was to me that
I've heard that
and cried
before.
What?
That's happened to people. Like, can we not fight right now?
Music,
I'm trying to,
yeah, you really have to like get it with me. Like, literally, I don't even want to make a definitive statement, but that is what made us break up, is music. Because we got in a big fight because I called him a basic bitch once. Because of how he listens to everything he was spoon-fed and like liked it. And I'm like, this song is, anyway, I can't. I was such a freaking snob about music.
You're a music snob?
Yeah, not anymore, because when I started healing, I realized like it was a way to mask and not feel, and I was blasting and not even listening to lyrics. It was just about sounds and tones.
Oh yeah, because you were talking about that, and then you
with the guy talking with the misophonia. Oh wait, what? Sorry. Misophonia.
No, that you used to listen to this one song for that reason, and then
metal.
It came on, or you decided to listen to it, and then you're like, holy shit,
yeah.
words.
When I was,
and it was like the right words.
Yeah, it like made me cry and like hallucinate because I went so deep with the message. Because when I stopped drinking, a fog lifted that I didn't even know was there, and it took a while. But that I was randomly like in shavasana or something, and I had metal playing because me. And I was working out to metal, like I was like, oh, yeah, or I wasn't working out. I was doing yoga, but I thought I was working out. It was before I realized what yoga actually was, how it was medicine. If you do it in the breath, I was like holding my breath through it and like working out. So I was like, fucking yoga, And then I even have a playlist called Etapada fucking Kudanasana.
No way.
Yeah. Because it's just like this hard. And that's why I wanted to become a yoga teacher, so I could use that playlist. Because it is kind of dope. It's like Deftones, like slow, like romantically industrial, like beats. Like, not beats, it's like riffs and freaking, it's so delicious. And it'd be really good for a slow flow. Actually, we should try it sometime, that playlist. Because it's like,
should.
I think Elizabeth would really like it. It's like, it's not like, it's not that kind of metal. It's like the kind that makes you want to like do really well or hurt someone or like be passionate about whatever it is it applies to everything. It's so good. And I was trying to think of the band name, but I can't think of it right now. But yeah, I was laying in Shavasana after one of those, and it was the metal playlist was playing, and it was like the end of this metal album by a band called Boundaries, and it's kind of like, I don't know what kind of metal it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe gent or something. It's like very, anyway, I won't talk about metal that much.
Oh my god, I'm getting this idea that
I'm so excited
after this.
No, get it. I'll stop. I'm just rambling to make you inspired.
I gotta write it.
She's gonna write the idea down. I'll finish while you write. Alright, the lyrics came on, and it was the end. It was basically the end track of this album, and it basically was like his poem that summarized the whole track. And so it was basically him talking with the music building, and it made my whole body erupt in like chills and to my core. And I literally like put my fingers like not into my eye socket, but like into the area where you can press, and it like opened my brain up. Like the fog of the alcohol lifted, like I heard the lyrics, I heard this song, I heard what he was saying, and it directly applied to my life, and it directly applied to all of my friends, all of everything in my life, how wrong it was. It was like this guy was me, and it unraveled a lot of false beliefs I had about myself. So yeah, that's it. I'm really grateful for music, and music is extremely important to me, but I don't worship it blindly anymore. And I'm not a snob about it because I understand the beauty in all of it. Except pop music, I have to do some work on that because I literally hate it with everything I have. I think it's purposely designed to make us entranced. And I think that it's like a rape of music, pop music. It grosses me out. It's so catchy, but I literally, if I hear any pop music, I'll turn it off because I know it's gonna be like a earworm, and I really believe in that earworm. There's studies done on. They literally study how to make people like get into the lowest possible state of consciousness through music.
With the vibrations.
Yeah, well, with the notes and everything, because we're made of water, and water conducts, like it's energy. It's all.
But there's like different vibrations, like the high vibrations are the good ones and the low.
Yeah, everything got changed in like the 40s or 50s to the demon sequence. Not really, but like the lowest or the one that keeps you scattered. Like there's a frequency that music usually sits at or whatever. I don't know. I'm probably lying, but there's a frequency that everything's at. And whenever the radio came into being, I think this is all very loose. I don't know. But there's some idea about how they changed mainstream music to like 472 or whatever hertz. I think that's like healing hertz, but it's like a non-healing hertz. There's hertzes that make molecules scatter in chaos, and there's hertzes that are harmonic. And they literally made pop music be the one that scatters your fucking brain. So it's hypnotizing you if you listen to it. And I could feel it when I stopped. Like you don't know this shit until you detox from everything. That's why I'm saying when you go to the jungle, and you do yoga and you do vegan and you do raw and you're pure and your body is completely detoxed, you're on a different level of consciousness, period. So when you come back into this when I came back into here, I sunk down layer by layer. It took months until the core of me was like almost eviscerated, till I realized that I needed to, with my depression, because I wouldn't have been depressed had I maintained all of my practices. But I also don't regret what happened. I needed to go down back into hell to extract shit, right? And like face myself. But regardless, when you come back, you sink back. There's the air, like It's in the air, the water, it's in the food, it's in the music, it's in the stores, it's in the polyester that I'm wearing right now is like doing shit to all the little subtle. It's subtle. It's not subtle enough. It's so subtle that you don't know until it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Like, this sounds a little conspiracy, but really when you break it all down, it makes a lot of sense. Like, just a little here, just a little there. So yeah, like with the music, once you detox from it, once I detoxed from music for real, I was listening to like, and I'm extreme, so I'm not recommending anything I do, but like when I completely got rid of all of it and I was just listening to like tones and crystal singing bowls and natural like water and like bowls and hertz frequencies, like that's all I was listening to. And then instruments, real music, like because in Ashtanga, or not in Ashtanga, at my ashram, it was also like a medicine place. So we did song circles and cacao ceremonies. Like it wasn't just yoga. Like it was full on different life. Like I was like in a tribe. It was fucking cool.
That is cool.
That's why I didn't leave. I was like, invite me to be, but then I met a fucking psychopath. So anyway, so close. But yeah, there's like shamanic music, so and like kailimbas and like and hand pans and like real music. Anyway, when I came back and I went to a store and heard the music, I was like, I felt it in my. Yeah, I mean, well, I was like, no, it wasn't instant. I was just like, holy shit, that isn't natural. It's just like the AC,
oh my gosh, yeah.
The AC, the food. When I first had like whatever food I had here, when my dad took me from the airport, took me to a restaurant, I was like, oh my god, you can taste the. That's why I was saying with you and Elizabeth last week, I don't drink the water here anymore because in Mexico the water is really heavy in like minerals, so it makes you sick. It's not because it's dirty. People think it's because it's fucking dirty. It's not. It's because you're literally sitting on water. Cenotes are under the whole peninsula or the whole like Yucatan peninsula. It is a peninsula. So you're on water, and the water is like that you get from the ground is like made of. It's like soaked in crystals and shit. So your stomach can't drink that. You throw up. So I was drinking spring water for a year, and when I came back and I got in the shower, I was like, I felt like my skin instantly like tightened up. It's just it's fine here. Our body adapts to it because our bodies are freaking strong. Like we're machines. Like we're like the most sophisticated machines that exist. So that's why, like for me now, I'm used to it. It's fine. But when you detox from it and you come back, it is such a stark contrast, and it's like, oh my god, we have no idea what we're sitting in right now. It's filthy, like energetically. But it looks clean because everything is overly bleached and shit. There's no life.
Yeah.
There's no real like bacteria, like there's like shit bacteria and gross bacteria, but there's no like gut bacteria because everything's blasted out.
Yeah.
Of our systems, out of the water. It's really gross. You come in and you're like, I think of like this beautiful like something that has beautiful long hair. I don't know. And then it going through like this like a cartoon. It's like goes through an America machine or a West machine or whatever. And it comes out like a naked rat. That's what we are. Like everything natural gets blasted off when you land back here from that experience. I know, but again, we adapt, and it's fine. And there's ways to get around it. It's just kind of like it's a little bit hard to like reconcile for me because I grew up believing that like everything was for us, for our best interest. And I believe that maybe the majority of people in power are like try for the best interest, but I just think it's too hard. I think it's too fucked up to go back and admit that they're wrong. So they're just like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's more.
Just
more
eat the Cheez-Its, bitch. They're American. It's like, no, Grady, you can fucking admit that you've been killing us slowly by accident, by negligence.
Or like...
And fix it, bitch.
Restructure the ingredients?
Exactly.
Maybe?
Yeah, all of it. Stop for, like,
you don't have to say
it costs too much to them. There's too many people making way too much money off of our sicknesses, off of these food deserts, off of the food.
That's true.
So I get why they're kind of screwed, you know? Like, there's really not much we can do except personal sovereignty. And I don't mean, like, going off grid, because I tried that. I mean, like, personal choices in the grocery store. Like, there are brands trying. There are still good people trying to change the shit, even though it's getting really, really hard right now, because the divide is, like, but choose the brand that tries to be honest. Sometimes I went through a phase where I was like, all of it's corrupt. No, it's not. That's not fair at all. To think that I'm the only person who cares in the whole world, that sounds a little bit egotistical. Like, I trust that when I go to a store, I know that they have all my biometric data, like, because they scan everything, and I know that they track how much you steal from Target. Have you heard that? How they, like, if you get past $1,000 in theft of stolen goods, they have your DNA, so they'll arrest you.
Who steals from Target?
People do. I just read an article, like, if you ever like skip the checkout or whatever, or, well, because I've done a thing where if there's not a tag, I haven't done this, but no, I've done it. If there's not a tag, I'm like, hey, excuse me, there's not a tag. And they'll just be like, oh, how much do you want it to be? And I'll be like, $10. And, you know, that's happened to me a couple times at Target.
Yeah.
And I think that counts. Like, they know what I bought, and they know that it was $20, and I said 10. So if that number gets up to 1,000, they can arrest me. You haven't heard this?
No.
Yeah, and also at Kroger, I've been, just in the last week, I think I told you this last week, they've been getting really, really, like, locked down with their camera system, and at every self-checkout now, where, like, it shows you a video of yourself back until you can pay. You can't pay until the person.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, that's like new, right? I've never had that happen. It happens every time I go now. They're like, you can't pay until we watch this video, and they literally sit there and watch. Used to be, I think they're hiring like aliens to take over Target and shit now, because I used to go back and return, exchange stuff, and they was like, yeah, whatever. The last time I went, this bitch was like, pulled out her magnifying glass and was like, we can't return this because something. And I was like, excuse me, what? Oh. It's fucking Target. Like, sorry, I'm so feisty today. But I was just like, oh my God, they're cracking down. They're taking over. Like, shit.
We've got aliens.
Dry your herbs. Let's get, like, make our own
Did you
shit.
see my pour?
Is the lavender dying?
Yes. It was too moisturized, and it was so dense and so healthy.
Yeah. Couldn't handle itself.
No.
I'm so beautiful, I'm gonna have to explode.
Now I made it look horrible.
And no, I'm sure it's fine. I mean, I'm sure it lived a good life, but we could just always keep. I have so much stuff drying that our side business is always ready to go. It's always ready. But especially once I get out or wherever I'm at, like when I get back, this with the booth stuff, like I'm on a roll. So product lines will come in. I got my square payment system set up, like I'm ready to go.
I got mine.
I know you do. She's like ready. You probably have the fancy one.
No, I don't. Well, and now you can just tap it on your phone. That's the cool one.
I tried to go for that, but it was so expensive.
No, it's just on your phone.
Oh, it's literally just your phone?
You just take your
buy the square
credit card. Nope.
I bought
unless somebody doesn't have the tap.
Well, for the Lakewood 400, I have a feeling a lot of people aren't gonna have the tap. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually a little bit apprehensive about
what it's even called. I'm like, yeah. You know the tap.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have the tap on your car?
It is called the tap, but this Lakewood 400 is like, yeah, it's a cool. Have you ever been?
No.
It's every month. Why do they make it sound like it's so famous? But it's huge. I mean, it's a
well, we don't go in. We go to like 3 restaurants.
Oh yeah, you don't. Yeah,
no.
It's not a thing. Like, well, some people that's like their life. It's like a sport. Which I'm talking about me. I love going to antique places. It's like
I have a client that goes
like constantly
all the time.
I literally like seek them out. Like I'll just go on long drives and be like, oh, gotta stop there. And you have the little green bean right here. So cute.
It's expensive.
Is it?
Oh my God.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, probably not everything.
No, I mean the green bean further down is like
Scooby-Doo down?
Yeah. I go to that one way too much is bad. Like I'm in there all the time. I have a frequent flyer card. Yeah, I have a feeling though that my price points are gonna be like an antique place or like this kind of market is like when you're outside, there's like outside spaces that people have and it's like junk, you know, almost. And then when you go in, it gets more and more sophisticated. They have like full service restaurant, not restaurant, but like there's like food. It's like a whole thing.
Oh.
And it's open 9 to 5 every day. I didn't know this, but they do the whole outside. I'm doing the veranda space.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I'm like way too excited about this. I just have this feeling though that people are like, these are cool, but they're a little expensive, you know, because it's like there's junk outside. So I'm just gonna play with bargaining probably. I don't know.
See, just feel it out.
Feel it out. I'm so pumped. I have like all these.
So you can be like, how much do you want it to be?
Yeah.
I have a video. I'm gonna get your face on there.
After $1,000 of theft, We will find you. No, I feel like you just remind me of Pretty Woman, where he's like, "What's your name? What do you want it to be?"
Yeah, that's right. And he's like, "Come on,"
and she goes, "Vivian." I know the whole movie by heart. My name is Vivian. She even says she's from Georgia in that movie.
Really?
She says Smyrna, Georgia in the movie.
No way.
I remember being like, Smyrna? That sounds like such a big city. I lived in Snellville.
Rich calls it Smyrna.
Smyrna? Like, for real, or is he joking?
I don't know.
I think it's so funny when you can't tell someone.
Now I gotta ask him. Are you joking when you
get
say
some bagels in Smyrna?
Smyrna. If you added the sh in there, that would be funny.
That would have to be a joke.
Smyrna. Smyrna.
I have a feeling that he's not joking.
Maybe not.
I think it'd be really funny.
Like it.
I like it. I was gonna say it's really endearing. Except whenever people mispronounce it on purpose, I really don't like that. I mean, not when it's like, okay, I just thought of one specific person. A friend of mine used to purposely say quesadilla.
Oh, yeah.
And it just like, but she would laugh every time and no one else would, and it was just like, bitch.
Don't laugh at your own joke.
Yeah,
no.
or like, don't say it wrong on purpose. But also, I think she just couldn't say it right. I don't know.
My neighbor my old neighbor across the street called it, for real, quesadilla.
She was trying.
But she had the cutest little accent.
Yeah.
So she would say quesadilla. I have the best quesadilla soup. And I was like, I love you. Can you say it?
Yeah, sometimes it's cute and sometimes it just isn't.
No, that was a cute one.
Yeah, Southern accents are either cute or enraging to me. Like, either it traumatizes me or it makes me feel like you're not real. You're too cute.
Yeah, hers was really...
I love the, like, my wow ones. Like, my and why. Like July, white lily, like a July lily. Like, that's different. That feels fake to me, but I know it's not. You know what I'm saying? Where it's almost too cute. But the, like, twangy, bitchy, like, freaking leaning into the mispronunciation on freaking purpose because they like the sound of their own stupid fucking faces. I can't even. I am so traumatized. Wow. Yeah, I'm traumatized by growing up in the South, for sure. Just, like, me, the fake nice. You know? Yeah. Sorry. Ugh. I don't like it.
Sorry, listener, if you're...
Yeah, if you're not a dick, it's fine. But I was around a lot of Southern twangy dicks for girls who, like, use the Southern thing.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh. I don't know why I didn't develop a Southern accent. Like, I'm not sure why, but... Do you have to...
Not that I know.
Yeah, it's kind of neutral. Yeah, I'm pretty neutral. I don't really know why, if that was a trauma response or... Because there's an old video I told y'all of my 14-year-old self, and I said wrong instead of wrong. Yeah, and I went... When I saw it.
Well, I've switched mine up a little bit since being in the South, because, like, people would make fun of me.
Oh, your Northern
accents?
Yeah.
So, like, I already talked about this, I think, but I forget what one of the things was, but now I, like, wrong. Like, I used to say wrong.
Wrong. I would say wrong. So we're on the opposite. Mine was real swirly. Wrong. Like, so cute though, like my little self saying wrong. It's like, oh. My little brother, like, when I lived in Atlanta forever, so when I come back and see him, his accent would get more and more Southern. And the last time, I know, and like, because I feel like we were both neutral growing up. He's 7 years younger than me, but like, I thought we were neutral. And whenever I came back to see him once, I feel like overnight he was like, "Where you getting it? Then Denny too?" That kind of accent.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, dang, little guy. That's a cute little accent you got. But it's funny just living like 30, 45 minutes away in two different worlds. It's crazy. And my dad, too, even he picked me up once, or like 3 years ago or whatever, he was like, well, I don't remember what he said. He's like, yeah, well, something this morning. Like, the way it was.
You were like, what?
I was like, what? I don't remember you being. But that's just like how your brain. I don't remember even having a Southern accent when I was little. Just the way I don't remember I thought my dad was neutral. And it's how my brain worked. But anyway,
you're like, wait a minute, you're not.
I know, it's cute. I think it's kind of cute. I I've just been yelled at by too many really bitchy Southern people. So.
I'm mad that I let people make fun of me and I tried to soften it a little bit.
Read that.
I'm trying.
Okay.
I gotta remember.
You gotta listen to a podcast.
But like, I still said you guys.
I said you
just
guys.
talk to my mom more. That would help.
Mom, I need you to rub off on me, please. That sounded weird.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's a good place to stop.
Yes, because we're just.
Are we still recording?
Are we?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now I have to try to remember. Here we go. This will be good for our next one.
Next one, y'all. See you next time.
End session. We're ending the session, so we'll see you soon.